Today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about divorce. Divorce is a multifaceted, complex topic to be explored from countless perspectives, whether it is approaching the causes of, the morality behind, the justifications for. There are limitless standpoints to address this topic. For instance, this presentation will be focused on the impact of divorce on both the individuals involved as well as the children who are also affected by divorce. As soon as I mention the word divorce, some of you watching may have experienced an internal reaction, while others have proceeded unfazed. For those who responded with squirming or feel that inner tension bubbling up, most likely you've had a personal encounter with divorce, whether it be a personal divorce or having had parents who split. You see, divorce isn't a momentary occurrence. It's not just something that affects the moment that it's happening. Rather, it initiates a lasting impact and can create serious consequences. You see, I was one of those people who, if you had mentioned the word divorce or anything surrounding that, wouldn't have reacted. That is until about 7 years ago. I was familiar with the term and what it was, but the closest taste I had had to divorce was friends' parents divorcing, and well, that didn't emotionally impact me. But it was about 7 years ago, at the age of 18, I was confronted head-on by my parents, breaking the news of their impending split. Little did I know the bearing and brunt impact which would follow the next 7 years. According to the Holmes and Rahe scale of stress, divorce and marital separation rank the second most stressful occurrence apart from losing a child or spouse. And considering 40 to 50% of marriages end in divorce, depending which research you reference, not to mention the highest divorce rates are in America, it's safe to say many individuals are experiencing this crushing pressure and stress. While my focus is not directed towards the justification for getting a divorce, the reasoning can influence the psychological, emotional, and physical outcomes of the parties involved. For instance, separating oneself from a highly toxic, unstable environment can bring about newfound peace, relief, and hope. While testimonies of positive conclusions occur, more commonly is the result of a variety of lifelong mental, physical, or social consequences endured. Physically speaking, divorce takes a toll on the body. One study documented a correlation between those who have gotten a divorce and increased rates of heart disease, cancer, and diabetes. Not to mention the more noticeable side effects that come as a result of getting a divorce, such as difficulty sleeping, change in sex drive, lack of motivation, elevated blood pressure, and irritability. The prolonged chronic stress, which comes about as a result of separation, has the potential to cause lasting or even permanent adverse conditions. Fortunately, physical well-being can be promoted by conscious effort, reconciling what may have been damaged or disrupted due to stress. One psychological study of divorce-related depression and emotional effects found that for most people, these psychological symptoms are temporary. The consensus concludes most individuals tend to bounce back from the divorce blues. However, both men and women who've recently divorced or in the process of divorce are at a heightened risk for guilt, stress, depression, substance abuse, and an identity crisis. This disruption of their norms, whether it be the changes of roles or schedules, tend to cause a sense of panic or instability, initiating reactionary behavior. On average, women tend to hold the stress of divorce longer than men, but both parties struggle to deal and navigate their way through. Since the escalation of divorce rates in the 1970s, much effort and time has gone into researching the impact of divorce on children. No longer is the question, are children affected? Rather, how? The unfortunate truth for children is they have no influence over the proceedings, but are often affected just as much, if not more, than parents by the decision to separate. So what does divorce mean for children? Well, it depends, clarified Tamara Afifi, during her TED Talk. A host of different circumstances determine the expanse and reaction of length and influence. From gender, age, relationship with parent, siblings, or even social connectedness, many factors contribute to the outcome of the divorce. Not all emotional scars of parental separation result in visible consequences. Rather, most can be calculated and increase risk. In other words, divorcing does not assure the negative happenstances for these children. Rather, the odds are simply against the children once a divorce is decided upon. For instance, relationally, children of divorce face enhanced fear of failure, loss, change, and hardship. The influence of divorce can reach every sphere of a child's life. For instance, academically, children of divorce are prone to poor study habits and lower grades. Socially, these children risk losing friends and reverting to isolation. And additionally, in one study conducted by psychologist Judy Wallerstein, future romantic relationships, even decades later, can also suffer on account of unreconciled emotional baggage and hesitancy of commitment derived from these divorces. Speaking from experience, divorce can take a weighty toll on anyone in close proximity to the relationship. While my focus was targeting the potential negative consequences of divorce, a plethora of positive, productive outcomes can come about from a separation as well. To conclude this video, I leave you with this thought. What can you do to prevent these statistics from becoming a reality, or to assist those who are currently experiencing the pitfalls of separation? You see, I actually believe these statistics can take a turn in the more positive direction. Thank you.